Hi, and welcome to the 2021 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you so much for joining me once again on this edition. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Preach to me. We definitely appreciate your support, and please leave any comments or things you would like to see in the future down in the comment section. I do read those, and we greatly appreciate it here at the Preach to Me communications team. So today I want to talk to you about the advent or possibility briefly of universal basic income and to engage you in what are your thoughts on that premise. Last month in December, a bank predicted that Saxo Bank predicts the possible universal basic income could decimate cities next year. One bank sees in this outlandish forecast according to the media. In a report entitled Outrageous Predictions, Saxo Bank, SAXO Bank, outlined 10 outlandish forecasts for 2021. Now that we're officially in 2021, maybe it's not so outlandish. Among the predictions, the Danish bank said measures implemented by governments to support lost wages in response to the coronavirus pandemic could become permanent. They said could become permanent. As you know, the United States is on its third stimulus package, which many people are going to be receiving the $600 stimulus one-time payment, as well as the extra, those who are unemployed, the extra $300 a week that some states are giving, and federal assistance every week to help offset the cost of this sickness plan. But as you know, we are not the only pony. The United States is not the only pony in the stable. Other countries have been offering higher forms of stimulus packages in Europe, such as Germany and France. And other countries in Australia have been offering even stimulus packages even higher than what we have, such as $2,500 up to $3,000 a month. Some of this assistance has been receiving. And so, as you know, we are in a globalization economy, unfortunately. And that means that everybody's doing the same thing. So all the central banks, from the ECB, the European Central Bank that is, to the Federal Reserve Bank, to the Bank in Australia, the Bank of Japan, other countries as well that are allies with the United States and those who are not, are basically printing up money and keeping interest rates near zero. So all the central banks are in on it together. We have this stimulus plan that we've been having the stimulus plans. It's been kind of like maybe about a 4 to 5 month to 6 month gap between these stimulus plans. The first one we got was $1,200. Now it's $600 cut in half, and now they're even talking about a $2,000 stimulus plan after this one. They're already getting the next stimulus pony out the horse. So that is also very concerning and very interesting. And so we can have a thing called universal basic income, especially if Biden gets in and we head to more of a socialist, communist type of regime. That is a very big possibility. If Trump stays in, it's still a possibility because he's going to have to keep this economy afloat, and not just the stock market. Okay, so let's look at the stimulus packages around the world first of all. Then I can get into more. I'm just going to get in briefly to more about this prediction that Saxo Bank makes and the possibility of universal basic income for all Americans, regardless of employment status. This would be significant because that means regardless if you are employed, limited employed, or you're unemployed, or underemployed, you will receive universal basic income, and that was not only touted by Mr. Andrew Yang in our presidential election last year in 2020, and in this primary run, but it's something that's been touted for years by many economists for the last 10 to 12 years, 15 years, going on about having a universal basic income. So let's look at how the U.S. stimulus packages stack up around the world. In the UK, the United Kingdom, 80% of workers' salaries, that'll be your universal, this is the unemployment benefits offered, sort of a universal basic income. In Denmark, they get 75% of workers' salaries. In South Korea, they offer 70% of workers' salaries. In the Netherlands, they offer 90% of your workers' salaries. In Canada, they just give you a flat rate of $2,000 per month. In Australia, they give you $1,000 per month. And in the United States, back in the first stimulus package, we gave a one-time $1,200 check that may take months for some of that to arrive. So as you can see, even before the first and second stimulus packages came out, other countries were already offering much more money than we were offering to our citizens here in America. Isn't that something? Isn't that something crazy? So the UK's package ended up being something like $3,000 a month. The package also reportedly contains statutory sick pay for employees that have been told to self-isolate. Australia's stimulus package allowed furloughed employees to receive $1,000 US every 2 weeks. Canada gave $2,000 Canadian each month up to 4 months to those who have lost jobs due to this whole sickness. Denmark pledged $3,288 per month. France paid 70% of employees' salary up to a monthly maximum of $7,000 per month. Germany paid 67% of net wages up to a maximum of $7,326.78 per month. Ireland gave 70% of employee salaries up to a maximum of $448.36 per week. Italy has pledged up to 80% of an employee's salary for 9 weeks up to a maximum of $1,236 US per month. And self-employed workers got a one-time payment, of course, of $656.31 per month. The Netherlands will give companies up to 90% of each worker's wages. Spain will pay up to 70% of salaries with a monthly maximum of $1,544.09 per month. And of course, South Korea will pay unemployed people up to 130 Korean dollars per day, thousand per day, or $107 US per day, up to 70% of their daily wage. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can see how the universal basic income could be pushed here in America in the next year, starting this year in 2021 or in 2022, because we're already seeing that the Federal Reserve Bank plans to keep interest rates to zero to 2023. We've already seen that a stimulus package, the first time, if it was so great, it would have been a one-time thing and Americans will be able to make ends meet. That is not the case. We already seen the middle class declining in America, and now we have either the super rich or the poor class. That's it. We already see a move in America towards socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it. We're moving away from this freedom, democracy type of system where small businesses can survive. And we talked about that in previous videos. So this Saxo Business Bank is not too far off their balancing here, because right here they're saying that the pandemic or sickness has only accelerated the K-shaped recovery that was driving inequality and tearing at the social fabric before the outbreak. If you listen to our previous videos this past week, you've learned that the rich have gotten richer during this whole sickness pandemic, and Main Street have gotten poor despite the gaps because they can't make any gains or tractions on their money. The housing market is about to collapse, and all the equity in that is going to be going out. People are racing to refinance their homes to get more equity out of their homes, using it as an ATM before this thing collapses, because they know that the collapse is near. And so universal basic income could be coming to America, but I don't think it's coming this year. This year, the collapse has to continue into this year and next year to transition. And then I would say by 2023, 2024, universal basic income could be a reality in big cities such as Chicago, San Francisco, New York, DC, Houston, LA, in the in the Midwest, in the Southwest. It could be a very big thing. So what do you think about universal basic income? I believe that, in my opinion, universal basic income destroys creativity, production, and ingenuity of American citizens of all classes, of all races. It destroys that, and that's going to decimate our cities. That's going to decimate our suburbs. And that's going to basically decimate our areas of people that depend on that. Because as China gets stronger, as Russia gets stronger, with more technology and innovation, we need to be funding that, not giving our money to citizens to stay at home. This is very socialistic in nature, but this is where we're heading to, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately. Because the permanent business closures, the permanent lost wages that we're seeing, hasn't been a real wage increase in 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. 30 years was the last time that we had a wage increase that outpaced inflation in America. And I'm talking about the middle class. I'm talking about the middle class, upper middle class, whatever you want to call yourself. That's been the last time. So think about it. if we go to universal basic income, that means that we're going to lose productivity, ingenuity, creativity, small businesses out the window. The government's basically going to be paying people to stay at home and to work, but sometimes, and that's regardless of your employment status. You will be receiving this check. So, what do you think? Let me know what you think down in the comments when universal basic income arrives in America. It's already being practiced in Europe. It's already being practiced in a lot of the G20 countries, so-called developed countries. Let me know what you think. And would you be able to handle universal basic income and a job, or would you rather just have the government pay to have you stay at home and not do anything? Let me know. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.